Remember when those, and whatever, if you want to fill in the blank, in your life, it's like it was beautiful and gorgeous, and then you get older and it deteriorates, and you're like, the former glory of that thing. Oh, wasn't it beautiful? Wasn't it wonderful? Wasn't it gorgeous? And now it's in the dumps. Let's talk about that. Yeah. Good morning, beautiful people. I had this similar thing happen in my life. So at 15, I went to Disney World with my grandfather and my brother. The most interesting trip I've ever had with my grandfather. And we went there, and it was great because I had a broken arm, and I got to sit in front of most of the rides, and it was nice. It was beautiful. It was huge. It was awesome. And we had the greatest time, in my teenage life. And then I grow up, have a wife, have kids, and we go back to Disney, and it's like, this is really small. Like, it's not the way I remembered it. And it's very hot down here. And your opinions change, your ideas change. I mean, it was a great trip because I was with my family and we had a great time. Although my brother ran over my foot twice. Anyway, there was not a comparison. Like, the former glory of Disney when I was 15 to when I was with my kids and my wife, there was something not there. And so, when I was there, I was thinking of the past more than where I was. It was very interesting. Very weird concept. So here's Haggai, prophesying. And you had a lot of people that were still alive that saw Solomon's temple. And here they're building this second temple, and it's not as big, it's not as glorious, it's not as beautiful. And they were thinking, what? God told us to build this second temple. He said, we're building our house is very beautiful, but my house is in rubbles. And then we start building it, and it has no comparison of Solomon's temple. It has no comparison of the glory, the former glory of when we were together with our families and we went to sacrifice and we did these things for the glory of God, and then we have this. So Haggai says this: "Who is left among you who saw this temple in its former glory? And how do you see it now? Does it not seem to you like nothing in comparison?" So a lot of times in our life as we grow, the more information we have, the more sadness we have. The more information we know, the more we know that the world is pretty much crap. And the spiritual is definitely the essence of growing in this world, to be spiritually mature, to see things differently, to see things for what they are instead of what they're on the outside. And so a lot of times we look back and we're like, this doesn't compare. This doesn't. And then we always say, well, in the past there was so much innocence and so much better. No, it's just you were innocent and you didn't know evil, so you weren't really upset about things. But now the more information we have and we compare, we're like, oh yeah, that was the greatest. No, evil was still around. Evil was still there. Sin was still there. We just had innocent eyes. And so we always look back. But God said that's not really beneficial. You keep looking back. We have to look to the future. We have to look to the hope that Jesus has. We have to look in the present, because God knows what's in the past and God knows what's in the future. So if we live in the present with Jesus, we trust Him and we know what's coming up. But here's Haggai saying, look, you've seen the former glory. And then he keeps going on that really we shouldn't be comparing that. The second temple was built for who? God. The first temple was built for God. And so both of them, the purpose of that temple was a physical temple to point to a spiritual world, to point to that it's God that we're worshiping, not this building. And so they still had to change their mindset to say that God is the glory, not the temple. God is the one that we need to worship, not the place. And so if we just change our minds, if we just get the spiritual idea down, that it's Jesus first, others second, and ourselves last, society would benefit, churches would benefit, schools would benefit, towns would benefit, the poor, the naked, the people in jail would benefit. Everybody would benefit if we just put our spiritual minds on and prioritize the correct way. Just think, if we put Jesus first, then we would obey what God tells us to do. And then a lot of those rules and a lot of those limitations are because we're helping other people. And then because when we help other people, then they're going to help us, which we put ourselves last. But if everybody's doing that, then we're all helping each other. See, God is for everything that is good, even in society. So here's Haggai saying this. And my encouragement for you today is, are you putting your priorities right? Are you looking back in the past and saying, oh, that was the best time? We need to look forward to Jesus and know that there's going to be even a better place than what our former glory was. I love you. Jesus loves you too. You have a great Wednesday. Goodbye.